sucking donkey balls. Big old hairy donkey balls. Bouncing, bouncing donkey balls. Your coach is a clown. Your team is sucking donkey balls. Big old hairy donkey balls. While I'm out here stacking paper on my grind, breaking walls, flexing with my crew. Yeah, we never take a fall. Thug life, living right while you bitches just stall. I'm the king of the block, got my hustle on lock. You be chasing all that hype, but your game's a cheap knot. My hustle's on the rise, your dreams looking like a flop. Talking big, you just a little fish the shark's about to chop. Your team is sucked, yeah, they ain't got no balls. While I'm out here balling, breaking down your walls. Big old hairy donkey balls, you know I stand tall. Talking tough, but you're soft like a kitten in the halls. In the streets I roam deep, got my pride like a beast. You a feast for my rhymes, I'm a savage, not the least. Rolling with my nig, and we feast like a feast. I'm the lion in the jungle while you're just a little niece. You want the smoke, step to me, I'll put you on blast. Your whole squad's looking weak, like a joke, not a cast. I'm the real deal, baby, you just stuck in the past. While I'm flexing on the daily, always moving so fast. Your team is sucked, yeah, they ain't got no balls. While I'm out here falling, breaking down your walls. Big old hairy donkey balls, you know I stand tall. Talking tough, but you're soft like a kitten in the halls. Ain't no game that you can play when I'm spitting this heat. I'm the one who runs the street, you just follow my feet. Confidence on blast, you can't handle my fleet. While you sucking donkey balls, I'm the king of this beat.
Ain't that complicated? I'm sipping the wine, riding this train to glory. Got my cash on my mind, all the way to hell and back. We don't play, we attack. Fuck 'em all, your team sucks balls. Stay out of my tracks. Ain't nobody dissing me and walking away unscathed. Smacking off the podcast, we ain't afraid. Rolling in these streets like a king, reaching for the paper until the final bell rings. Up in ya, where the hustle never sleeps. Bitches talking still, but they ain't too deep. We riding that glory, train full of fire. Light away, motherfucker, we're going higher. We're going higher. We're going higher. All our street life too fast, no time for regrets. Dodging all the hate, no time for your threats. I'm clocking my mileage, trunk full of ambition. Every bar I spit, man, it's a street composition. Run the blocks like a boss, never take a loss. All these fuckers in my rear view paying the cost with me crew. Yeah, we ride or we die. Got the city on my back, watch the haters comply. Up in ya, where the hustle never sleeps. Bitches talking still, but they ain't too deep. We riding that glory, train full of fire. Right away, motherfucker, we're going higher. We're going higher. We're going higher. We ain't slipping. Hell no, we ain't. Every step I'm pimping. Hell yeah, we say we creep. Podcast spitting fire while these poles are just glare. We the lions of this jungle, so you better beware. So you better beware. Like a goddamn movie, I'm the star of the show. I'm full of ambition, let my true colors glow. I'm gripping on the path and I'm killing the scene. Ain't no stopping this train, just follow the dream. Fuck 'em all, I'm the realest, see the truth in my eyes. While you motherfuckers fumble, I'm the one that will rise. So bring your best game, but I'm calling you bluff. Cause when it's all said and done, man, you ain't that motherfucker. Up in ya, where the hustle never sleeps. Bitches talking still, but they ain't too deep. We riding that glory, train full of fire. Either way, motherfucker, we're going higher. We're going higher. We're going higher.
The fuck you looking at? We the basketball pimps. Dr. Ball's in the house, slinging truth like limp dicks in the gym.
Yo, Dr. Balls roll deep. Pockets kings from the north to the east, ballin' like a motherfucker. Pockets fat, Glock cock. We the squad that knows all, spittin' facts, no cap. Hustle from the streets to the booth, stacking racks off rap. Scrawny clowns try to front, get your wig pushed back. Don't try to fuck me around, pussy. That's a lyrical attack. West Coast cruise in the 6-4, hydraulics bounce the beat. East Coast bar slice deep, leave you leaking in the street. Loyalty's the code. Fuckers ride or get ghosted, betray the fam, end up floated like a snitch in the ocean. Dr. Balls diagnosed the game, he the doc with the prescription. Truth serum, straight fire, burn your weak ass conviction. Dr. Balls in the house, ballin' like a motherfucker. Pocket has it, tells it like it is, no suckers getting covered. Balls knows all, yeah, the realest in the spot. Don't try to fuck around, scrawny clown, get popped. Dr. Balls in the house, ballin' like a motherfucker. Street code certified, better bow down or suffer. Yeah. From the trap to the mic, we pimp the game like hoes on the ab. Surviving bullets and bullshit, now we laughing from the pad. Bitches flock to the pod, thirsty for that raw feed. Dr. Balls drop knowledge bombs, make them kneel and concede. Hustle never stops, flip a dub to a milli overnight. Enemies plot, but get folded, we the kings of the fight. G-Funk vibes sliding through the hood with the top heel back. East Coast punchline crack jaws, leave your grill intact now. Scrawny motherfuckers bark loud but fold under pressure. We the basketball pimps, dunking on you clowns for pleasure. Loyal to the soil, rep the block till we bury. Dr. Balls in the house, podcast legends never hurry. Dr. Balls in the house, ballin' like a motherfucker. Drunken toss and tells it like it is, no suckers getting covered. Dr. Balls knows all, hey, the realest in the spot. Don't try to fuck around, scrawny clown, get popped. Dr. Balls in the house, ballin' like a motherfucker. Street code certified, you gon' burn down or suffer. Yeah. Final round, silly fuck scatter like roaches when the lights hit. Dr. Balls built an empire off the grit and the fight spit. From slinging dope dreams to viral streams on the net. We expose the fakes, watch them sweat, place your bets. Motherfuckers envy the glow, try to dim with the shade. But we armored up, street codes engraved like a blade. Ballin' harder than Shaq in his prime, rim shatter supreme. Like the past, close to the streets, living life like a fiend. Scrawny clowns stay pressed, but we don't entertain. Dr. Balls drop the truth, leave you stained in the pain. West Coast laid back killers with East Coast killer instinct in the house forever. Bow down, that's the distinct. Dr. Balls in the house, ballin' like motherfuckers. We know all. Tell it like it is. Fuck around and find out, clown. Peace.
Ain't that complicated? I'm sipping the wine, riding this train to glory. Got my cash on my mind all the way to hell and back. We don't play, we attack. Fuck 'em all, your team sucks balls. Stay out of my tracks. Ain't nobody dissing me and walking away unscathed. Smacking off the podcast, we ain't afraid. Rolling in these streets like a king, reaching for the paper until the final bell rings. Up in ya, where the hustle never sleeps. Bitches talking still, but they ain't too deep. We riding that glory, train full of fire. Light away, motherfucker, we're going higher. We're going higher. We're going higher. Our street life too fast, no time for regrets. Dodging all the hate, no time for your threats. I'm clocking my mileage, trunk full of ambition. Every bar I spit, man, it's a street composition. Run the blocks like a boss, never take a loss. All these fuckers in my rear view, paying the cost with me, crew. Yeah, we ride or we die. Got the city on my back, watch the haters comply. Up in ya, where the hustle never sleeps. Bitches talking still, but they ain't too deep. We riding that glory, train full of fire. Right away, motherfucker, we're going higher. We're going higher. We're going higher. We ain't slipping. Hell no, we ain't. Every step I'm pimping. Hell yeah, we say we creep.
I'm the star of the show. I'm full of ambition, let my true colors glow. I'm gripping on the path and I'm killing the scene. Ain't no stopping this train, just follow the dream. Fuck them all, I'm the realest, see the truth in my eyes. While you motherfuckers fumble, I'm the one that will rise. So bring your best game, but I'm calling you bluff. Cause when it's all said and done, man, you ain't that motherfucker up in ya. Where the hustle never sleeps. Bitches talking still, but they ain't too deep. We riding that glory, train full of fire. Either way, motherfucker, we're going higher. We're going higher. We're going higher.
Your team is sucking donkey balls, big old hairy donkey balls. Bounce it, donkey balls. Your coach is a clown. Your team is sucking donkey balls, big old hairy donkey balls. Bounce it, donkey balls. Coach is a clown. Your team is sucking donkey balls, big old hairy donkey balls. Bounce it, donkey balls. Coach is a clown. Is sucking donkey balls, big old hairy donkey balls. Bounce it, donkey balls. Your coach is a clown. Your coach is a clown.
Donkey balls are bouncing all around. Bounce up, bounce up. Balls, donkey balls. Balls, donkey balls are bouncing all around. Balls, donkey balls are bouncing all
These motherfuckers right here. Yes, these motherfuckers right here. Fuck them. We don't want to talk about them. It's getting boring as fuck. These motherfuckers right here. Yes, these motherfuckers right here. Fuck them. We don't want to talk about them. It's getting boring as fuck.
Dr. Balls is a presentation of Smacking Off the Podcast.
In the house, what's going on? The doctor knows who's going down. Dr. Balls will know.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Smacking Off the Podcast, our Sweet 16 edition of Dr. Ball's show. What do you think about her, Doug?
I think that Facebook's fucking around with us again.
I think they are too, because that, I like that. Because I had to share every individual group and thing I did individually instead of just hitting a chat.
I guess it's possible that something's wrong with the server tonight or something.
Oh, we may have overwhelmed them with all of our power and majesty.
I don't know. Like as soon as we started the political thing, I started getting messages from them, something about securing my account and how much reach we had, and they have like an issue with. They're trying to. I don't know what they're trying to get me to do. They're trying to get me to jump through a hoop, and I'm scared to do it because I've got one account that I cannot get back. They will not accept my ID, and it's a state ID. They won't accept it. So I really think they're. I don't know. They hate any kind of conservative politics.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. And they sure love anti-Semitic, though. They let that shit fly all day long.
Oh yeah, and they're owned by the globalists. Just all these places, and all they're doing right now is humoring Trump. Just trying to bide their time and get his ass out of there.
Yeah, it's probably true. So who's joined us?
I'm here.
Ed. And,
No, it's
and what
Bruce is there too.
Bruce, are you here as well?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
No,
can.
I can't, Bruce.
I'm sorry, Doug.
All
what about
right,
Nick?
so I hope Nikki comes in tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
She may not because her Gators disappointed her the other night.
Down. So if we had a,
I think she said she was happy with the season and everything, but for a true Gators fan, is there anything to talk about at this point?
I mean, just disappointment. I mean, because they looked like they was headed to the, the Final Four, and they just ran into a problem they couldn't solve. It just blew my mind that Iowa beat them.
All it takes is one in the tournament, right?
Yeah.
One problem you can't solve, and you go home, right?
That's what happened to them.
And it happens all the times to teams that are good enough to win it all.
Oh
It
yeah.
does. So yeah, I'm not shocked that Alabama beat Texas Tech. When I picked Texas Tech the other night, I wasn't really picking Texas Tech because I thought they were just great. I just felt like this is where we go home. It didn't have anything to do with Texas Tech. It was just Alabama. But now I'm all full of confidence, Ed.
Yeah, so I'm a little worried because Alabama clearly played well. Now, are we going to be guilty of recency bias? And I mean all of us. I don't know. Hard to say.
I mean, I would just to pay y'all back for 2023 Saban's last season would be nice. I mean, not that basketball and football have anything to do with one another, and I would have much rather won that game in 2023. But that'd be nice.
Yes, it would be special.
Yep, short bus special.
Short bus special, but we like it. But Alabama. I thought there was an angle to that game that not many people reported on. Now, wasn't the coach at Alabama, Nate Oates, wasn't he formerly the coach at Texas Tech?
No, he was at Buffalo.
Oh, at Buffalo. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Beard, who went to, was it Mississippi State? But obviously, Texas Tech's had a good program for a while, guys. And Big 12's been tough all year, and they look pretty well represented here in the Sweet 16. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 4 in the Big 12? 1, 2. At least 3 teams in the Sweet 16. That's pretty good. The Big 10 is absolutely well represented. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in the Sweet 16. I mean, my goodness. But
What's,
I mean,
let me look at my picture here.
yeah, that's a great picture. I'm
The
using it.
big, the big. Shit.
I had to take my glasses off so I could see it better.
And I mean, some other oddities. I mean, obviously, Michigan State, Michigan, both in the big. But then you've got the split conference deal here with Iowa and Iowa State still remaining. That's I don't know what the paths are. Can Iowa State meet before?
Let's look at that. So we're at they're on the Iowa plays Nebraska.
That's the Corn Bowl.
Huh?
That's the Cornhole Bowl, isn't it?
Yes. And on the other side of the whole bracket at the bottom, so they can meet the Final Four and play each other. I was playing Nebraska at the top of their South region, and Tennessee is playing Iowa State at the bottom of the Midwest region. And Iowa State, I mean, if you go by seeds, Iowa State's a favorite in that game, but Iowa's a 9 seed.
But would they meet? They would meet in the Final Four, but maybe they wouldn't meet in the championship, would they?
No.
Okay.
No.
If they meet in the Final Four, that's still going to be the biggest basketball deal for the state of Iowa in the history of college basketball.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And they, so that's a huge, for the state of Iowa, you're right, that's a huge thing. And what a victory over Florida. It was a close one, but they earned it. And
how about Nebraska? How about Nebraska going from never winning a fucking conference game? Sorry, a tournament game to to Sweet 16 play, man. That's got to be exciting for the Nebraska faithful.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely. And now you do remember they were in the top 5 rankings to start the year, though.
Yeah.
So for once, the pundits may have gotten close on this one, but they didn't really. Come on, Cat. They didn't really. To me, they didn't really blossom. And once they got the conference play, they had a little dip, and they didn't really blossom until the end of the year. But they was looking pretty good. I don't know. You've been watching the Big Ten pretty hard, Ed. What are you thinking on Nebraska?
Ed's on the toilet, ain't he?
Yeah, he's on the toilet.
Let me see.
You know what I'm seeing basically in all the games that are coming.
Can you hear me
now?
Yes,
we can now.
Oh, okay.
After
So I think Nebraska, I wouldn't say they had like a real slump, but they had like a little period of time where they weren't playing great, and I think they've got it together now. So I think they're dangerous.
Yep, absolutely.
Who does Nebraska play next?
Nebraska plays Iowa. It's a Big Ten matchup.
Yeah, we just talked about it. That's the Cornhole Bowl. Yeah, I think I was operating on borrowed time. So give Nebraska, man. I think Nebraska wins. I think Nebraska goes to the Final 8 here.
Yes, and the possibility exists for
the Elite 8. Sorry, the Elite 8.
The possibility definitely exists for there to be to be possibly 2 Big Ten teams, maybe even 3 in the Final Four. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but the possibility does exist. If Iowa or Nebraska wins out in their bracket, and Michigan wins out in their bracket, and Purdue wins out in their bracket, theoretically you could have 3 Big Ten teams in the Final Four, which I don't think is going to happen, but it's possible.
Yeah, I ain't gonna happen.
Right, because you got Houston sitting on the other side of the bracket in the South region for Nebraska if they move on. The winner of Houston and Illinois. See, that's interesting that you've got a 3 and 4 chance for a Big Ten team to win the South region. So if you look at the Midwest region, Michigan, Alabama, Tennessee, Ohio, so you've got a 1 in 4 chance for a Big Ten team to win that. Of course, you got the odds of the team being better. Michigan's obviously better than on paper than Alabama, Tennessee, and Iowa State. But so there's 2 SEC teams. They got a 2-4 chance to win a game in the Elite Eight. But I mean, it's possible for the Big Ten because I don't know. Alabama seems to be getting better as the year goes on. And the only question I have, Doug, are they going to erase any wins they get because they played an ineligible player earlier in the year?
If they do, will it have anything to do with the tournament?
See, that's the whole thing. I think that they're right to play the tournament on. For example, Louisville won the national championship and then later had their banner pulled, right? But we all watched the tournament. We've seen Louisville win it.
Well, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, Alabama ain't gonna lose a national championship due to this because they're not gonna win it.
But they could.
I mean, it's theoretically possible, but I don't see it.
They smoked a good team in Texas Tech. I mean, they smoked them. They were hot. If they get hot like that again, I mean, Alabama's gotten hot shooting wise. It's because of how many shots they take and how the tempo. It's possible there could be a huge high scoring game that they could win against Michigan. You think there's any chance Alabama beats Michigan and Ed?
I do.
There's definitely a chance.
Yeah, it comes down. We're coming down to the section of guard play having a big impact on playing. You saw that in the Florida game against Iowa, where Iowa matched them up on the front court, and the Florida team had the better power forwards and things like that. But when it came down to guard play and the pace of the game, it fell right into Iowa's bailiwick, and they hurt Iowa. I mean, they hurt Florida the whole game, controlled it.
I'd agree that the point guard practically won the game at the end. He took it to the hole and nobody stopped him. So that was impressive. And I agree with that. Alabama's got good guard play. Michigan also does as well. But Tennessee
Michigan has the power forwards. They have control of the backboards. If they can get the rebounding and control that tempo, Michigan will win it. If they can't, and the guard play of Alabama controls it and the tempo, then it's going to fall in Bama's favor. That's how I see it.
Alabama has to hit a lot of threes in that game, but that's their whole gig. So I think it's going to be exciting, guys. And then Tennessee, to my surprise, beat Virginia, and it was a pretty damn good game. And in the end, it was about the best coach game I've seen out of the coach there at Tennessee, even when he was at Texas, Coach Barnes. And that was a well-coached game. And I'm surprised that Virginia scored as many points as they did. But
Tennessee's not a great defensive team.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And they definitely had a chance against Iowa State, even though Iowa State is prolific scoring team, plays pretty good defense on their own. I'm looking at that one as the upset possible game. And I don't know. I ain't rooting for Tennessee though, Doug. It's tough on me.
Yeah, I can't ever root for Tennessee. I don't know. Let's give Sean a little bit more time to get in here before we jump into
Start
these
picking
games.
them. Yeah, I'm not really picking them. I'm just throwing some how interesting these matchups are out. Houston, Illinois is a massive matchup. Both of them teams are really good. The Big 12 has been strong as hell. Iowa State and Houston are both great teams. Was in a tough conference, even though Kansas. So I was surprised about that too. If you want to talk about the Kansas St. John's game, I don't know how long that the refs in the tournament are going to let St. John's keep roughing the other teams up, but I like it. I hope they keep doing it. So I don't know if anybody else watched that, but you was talking about guard play, Bruce. St. John's basically bugged Kansas's guards, you know?
Yeah. They were more physically. They handcuffed them the whole game. So,
It's gonna cost
it
the
could
second
come
half
out
of
of
that
the
one.
East. I really see that to be in some way a stronger bracket than any of them, truthfully.
Oh yeah, and UConn, you got to give them a chance too because, well, hell, what a matchup! Michigan State, you got a great coach. UConn, you got a great coach. They're pretty damn good teams.
Yeah.
They're both peaking in the tournament. It's I mean, St. John's got a great one of the all-time great coaches in my opinion, Rick Pitino, and Duke Shire is a damn fine coach. They couldn't have replaced. I mean, no, who could replacing Krzyzewski? You can't underestimate that. I mean, it's like replacing Nick Saban, Doug.
And coming out of the South, I don't in either bracket, Iowa and Nebraska or Illinois and Houston. The only team that I see that can come out of that one is Iowa. That's my feelings and my thinking. And so, yeah, we can come down to St. John's, Iowa, Arizona, and Bama, or Michigan, either one. So, no, it's exciting.
So, what do we think about Texas and Gonzaga as a game? You know, me, all the talk about Gonzaga not being able to move very far in the tournament. You know, I mean, you could say that justified that, but Gonzaga was only a 3 seed. They were appropriately seeded, even though Texas was 11 seed. Theoretically, they should have had a chance in that game, and still they won. That was quite a shock to me.
I think what hurt Gonzaga a lot is they had during the whole season, they played 30 different front lines at one period or another during the season. They really didn't have a consistent front. They didn't have a complete team every game that played, say, like 5 or 6, 10 games straight. They were always rotating, and because of injuries or whatever, they struggled the whole season to have a complete front line every week. And I think that really hurt them when it came down when they got tournament time.
Yep, and Gonzaga historically has always had a great big man. They've set several really good big men to the NBA, and I think this year that wasn't quite what we've been seeing. And Purdue's obviously getting hot, and Miami was a pretty good team, but I think Purdue beat them fairly handily. So I think Purdue's getting hot at the right time. I don't know if Texas just caught the right draw or has improved to that extent. Shaka Smart's a decent coach. He's had success elsewhere, but to me, it looks like Purdue's going to crush Texas, but we're going to get to that later. And
well, I don't know. I mean, Sean may not be coming in. He may be tied up at work or something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's typically in by now.
Mm-hmm.
And then Arkansas beats High Point in a high-scoring game, but that shouldn't have been close, which tells you that Arkansas isn't that great. And then you got Arizona handily beat, but didn't destroy a feisty Utah State team. So it was a great weekend of basketball, guys.
It was.
And Louisville lost. So, I mean, I couldn't be happier.
Everything set up for you. And is Louisville's not – are they in the tournament?
They were.
They were. No, no.
Okay, so
they got beat by Michigan State, 77-69.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you had the all press conference bowl with UConn and UCLA, which UConn beat UCLA 73-57. So, you know, so it was your all.
For some reason, Michigan State and Louisville is sticking in my brain. Would that be the John L. Smith Bowl? Didn't John L. Smith coach both of them in football?
Yes, he did.
All right, the John L. Smith Bowl. That guy, he was off his Runyon too, man. That guy was not right. He was a interim at Arkansas, and he had a press conference where he just went off on some shit that like nobody knew what the fuck he was talking about. Does anybody remember that?
No, I'm gonna have to find a YouTube video of that one because it sounds interesting. I can imagine that.
Yeah, it was some. Hell, he may have been on something. Shit, I don't know.
Did Louisville hire him after that, or was he the coach of Louisville before that?
I think it was before.
Because Louisville's been known to hire some people that were
Questionable.
discredited, but had some success somewhere else, such as Bobby Petrino.
It's kind of like the Raiders' philosophy on bringing players in the 70s.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if they had prison record. Matter of fact, it was welcome.
It was welcome. That's right. They was looking for that. They wanted that extra layer of toughness, Yep,
and they had it most of the time.
Then they had it. And then, so another weekend game, Illinois pretty much crushed VCU. So they're looking pretty good. VCU was a decent team, but I don't think that they had anywhere near the talent of Illinois. And then Texas A&M, Buzz Williams gets destroyed utterly by Houston. That looks like the biggest loss of the whole weekend, guys.
They were run out. They really were.
But it wasn't as disappointing as Iowa State crushing Kentucky utterly. So, guys, anybody want to talk about? So, I've been wanting to hold this for a minute before we get into picking our games and our reasoning behind it. But I think it's important when blue bloods fall on hard times if we analyze what the fuck is going on and why and how we got there and so forth. Well, so Kentucky loses by 19 points to Iowa State. That's, in the NCAA tournament, they suck donkey balls.
They did the other day, and that one was disappointing as an SEC fan. I mean, I'm not an SEC homer, but when Kentucky's doing good, the conference is doing good.
Yes,
and that was disappointing. But you know what disappointed me almost more than Kentucky going down?
What's that?
It was fucking Vanderbilt not getting Nebraska, even though it was a damn good game. Because I remember, and that was the shock early in the year, was Vanderbilt and Nebraska, and they were both in the top 10 at one point at the same time. And it was a great game, and Nebraska just couldn't get over the hump.
Yep, that was a hell of a game, guys. It was great entertainment. But I'd like to see Vanderbilt go on, and they played well. It was a tough game. I
have to be honest. I was already kind of contemplating this graphic right here that we're using, and I could just kind of picture Vanderbilt's logo being here and not Nebraska's.
Oh yeah.
I was ready. I was ready to say Vanderbilt is in the Sweet 16.
Well, you could say the same thing about the Florida and Iowa game. I mean,
but Florida's so good. And they've won national champion. They've won 3.
Yeah, they were last year's national champions,
and they've won 3 in the last 20 some odd years. But Vanderbilt, they've had decent basketball teams, but they really don't. They've never won anything. I don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's true. It's unfortunate, but true. So it's easy to Nebraska, but it's easy to root for them. But Nebraska never did nothing. Period. I mean, they never even had. They never even had a Will Purdue there. Matter of fact, I can't name a Nebraska player more than the last. I don't know if I can name one past this year. I mean,
can we give them the Cinderella label?
If they win, if they get in the Final Four, they definitely get it. Of the teams that's left, in my opinion, they're the most worthy of being called a Cinderella. I mean, let's look at the other teams. Illinois had Kenny Battle. I mean, some other great players. Houston had Phi Slama Jama. Tennessee had Darrell Griffith. I mean, Iowa State. Did Iowa State have, what was that guy? Damn. Anyway, they had one of the great all-time centers. I just can't remember his damn name. And then Alabama said they're sure great players. Michigan's produced NBA lottery picks. And, Duke, UConn, all them. But lowly Nebraska, I can't. And I've watched basketball a long time, guys, and I can't think of one star that ever played in Nebraska. Ed, can you think of a star basketball player from Nebraska?
No.
Well, let me just say, as an Alabama fan, Robert Ory. Have you ever seen him in The Fresh Prince? So Will Smith in the same room at the same time?
Are they the same person?
They seem like it.
That's Big Shot Bob.
But let me go ahead and throw this out there. I am an SEC fan, and I would have pulled for most of the SEC teams. But there's one that got spanked, and I was glad to see it. And I was glad to see Houston kick Texas A&M in the fucking gut. That was a beautiful thing to watch.
It was pure magic, wasn't it?
It was.
They got out coached, outplayed the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
And the thing about it is
exactly where I like to see A&M in anything.
In anything. That's where they deserve to be. And I hope they spend more money to have the same level of mediocrity. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah, and they do. They always spend a lot of money. They've been trying to buy a fucking football championship for 100 years. And they did win one a long time ago, back when, back in the really what even the bowl era. I mean, there was a few bowls back then.
Jackie Sherrill is the main coach that I can remember from A&M, but as far as I remember, he never won one.
No, but he was the first $1 million contract.
Oh yeah, he got the big money.
So they won the national championship in payout that year.
So I'm gonna tell you something that tells you how much the game has changed. That I remember watching on TV as a kid, right? And Tom Osborne is out there talking about the weightlifting program. However, they were the only ones that had it, and they had that conditioning program, and how they were running through a whole weight thing. And I saw this on 60 Minutes when I was like 11, right? And I mean, the game is transforming, and he absolutely transformed the game. And no matter who you got to coach, if you were in the Big 12 and they're lifting weights and you ain't, right? But I know people lifted weights voluntarily all the way through all the football I've ever seen, right? But it had to have been influenced by Tom Osborne. I'm absolutely sure of it. And not Tom Osborne. Who was the coach? He was literally coaching the Cowboys. I don't know why I said Tom Osborne.
Barry Switzer.
Barry Switzer. So Barry Switzer was on 60 Minutes and taking you through the weight room and so on and so forth. And they were the first schools to do that. And then other schools said, darn, we got to get them in the weight room too. Of course, they took, if you ever seen Bosworth, they obviously took it to the next level, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
But once other people started lifting weights, he said, well, we'll just throw some cheese on top of it and see how that goes.
Yep.
I always wondered, when I seen Earl Campbell's thighs, right?
Oh, God.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there any possibility? I ain't saying he was
estimate.
You know what I'm saying? There was a guy like that in the NFL who was the only reason the Colts won the Super Bowl, by the way, while Manning was there, right? Named Bob Sanders. And he did so many roids that his biceps literally exploded. Right. So
they just blew up one day?
That's what they said. I mean, I was big in the Indianapolis sport. Wherever I'm at, I'm listening to local sports radio. I want to know what they're hearing, right? And in Indiana, you got some Chicago, but since it's in the center of the state, it was all about the Pacers, all about the Colts, all about the So they were on it hard, and that's what happened to Bob Sanders. So no Bob Sanders meant no second Super Bowl for Peyton Manning. Victory, that is. But anyway, that's what they said happened to him, is his biceps exploded. And I looked at Barry Sanders, and I look at them guys are freaks of nature, man. Even if they were juiced, they had it in them to grow thighs this big and have a waist that big around.
They are giant.
Yeah, they're giant, man.
Huge thighs. And
All
they
right, guys,
ran through you.
I don't think Sean's coming in, or if he does, then he can catch up. But let's go ahead, I guess, and jump into these games.
Jump into these games, he says. Well, if we're going to do that, we're going to start. I got the NCAA official bracket up.
Okay.
From the and it's saying that in the top of the East bracket, we have Duke and St. John's, guys. What a matchup, right? We got a great young coach, you could say, and a great older coach that's got a lot of experience playing a rough style. It's Duke, who has some superior players, you got to say, and Boozer, one of the best players left in the tournament. Any chance St. John's upsets Duke?
Yes.
Yes, there is a chance. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
I just think they're a better balanced team than Duke.
Yeah, I
periods.
think St. John's definitely wins this game.
I just think they're just the inconsistency of Duke at times. I see them get frustrated very quickly, very easily. They're not a very level team, and I think St. John's. Yeah, I like them.
You know, I've seen throughout the years, Duke has had some amazing teams. They either have the top recruiting class or among the top recruiting classes, and still lost games that you didn't think they would lose in the NCAA tournament. You know, even with great coaching like Krzyzewski and so forth. And in my opinion, almost every time the reason was the same. And that was that guys felt like they were entitled to win, right? That it belonged to them and nobody else had a chance, and they just had to go out there and get her done, and it was all going to be handed to them and the championship was theirs. Well, it just depends on how hungry you are. If you're St. John's and this is your opportunity and you are hungrier than Duke and they feel like it belongs to them anyway, then you can beat Duke. So me, I don't know if I should we put scores on this day?
I mean, it's not going to blow me away if Duke wins this game, but I can't. I don't know. I can't not imagine St. John's not getting past Duke here. It's going to be close. Give me St. John's 85, Duke 80.
Nice. What are you thinking on it, Ed?
Oh boy, it's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Duke. I'm not rooting for him. 72-68.
Hell yeah. And they now what do you like about Duke in this game, Ed?
I just think they got more offense and they just got more guys, basically.
I'd agree with that. What about you, that they got more guys than is? What are you thinking on it, Bruce?
I like St. John's. I just think they're more consistent, and I think.
I think Duke's always got more guys than typically anybody they play.
Well, they got sometimes majority of the time they do have better talent. It's Duke, right. St. John's, as their coach. I think that's is a real big factor. He's knowledgeable. Absolutely. He's been there before. He's no shrinking violet. I just like St. John's, and I think it's going to be 82-80. It's going to be a tough game, but I think St. John's will squeak it out.
You stole my score, Bruce. That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking that St. John's would pressure Duke all game long, and make it tough for them to get the basketball up the court. And
challenge them at half court. Don't let the wings, dictate the speed of the game, the tempo of the game.
Yes, and that's going to be frustrating for Boozer because there's going to be so much action, and they eat up the clock with all the pressure on the front end. They eat a lot of the shot clock up before you even get the ball across the midcourt. So then you only have so much time to enter into your offense, and you just don't have smooth sets. And they're running a lot of sets for their stars at Duke, specific sets. It's not really an open situation, so it lends itself to people taking too much time when they get into their half-court offense because they just had to fight to get it up the court. So I believe that's going to win for St. John's. And Patino's hungry for another championship. I don't know what's going to happen, but he knows how to get it. So I'm going to go St. John's, same score as Bruce, 82-80. So that's a big one. So y'all want to let's do the bottom of the East bracket. So we've got Michigan State at UConn. We're on, against UConn. And guys, I ain't gonna tell you, there's some coaching presence in this game.
Absolutely.
And so
Go
Tom is
against, Hurley.
yes, and Hurley. He proves he's an asshole, but he's proved he can coach. And now he's
he is a DICK of the first class. There's no doubt about it. Even the referees, just it's painful to see how he interacts with the referees and how many times the referees turn their back to him. And you can count when officials really hate you is when they turn their back to you. It's like a sign of, I don't want to listen to a friggin' word you say. and Hurley draws that out of them, So I, as much as I dislike Hurley, his boys are good.
Oh yeah, and Doug, I noticed you have a banner at the bottom of the screen that says to buy the merchandise. So right here is a representation of the merchandise. And
Awesome.
it's awesome. And they I have to tell you guys that I'm with you, Bruce. If you're the ref and you've got a guy that's pretty much a gentleman by comparison on the other side with lots of respect, right? And you got him in comparison to Hurley, I don't know. I think sympathy plays a role. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in these calls, and you're, just like your tone and your tenor in life, right? What mood you put motherfuckers in. I said, oh, are you gonna act like that? Okay, we might do this right here.
Yeah.
And so that's dangerous for UConn. What are you thinking on that one, Ed?
Neither team is quite as good as they normally are every year. I'm going. I hate to do it. I got Sparty in a tight one. 68-65.
God damn it, Ed.
I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty good. What are you thinking on this, and Bruce? So if you got to pick a winner and make up a score for this Titanic matchup, what are you thinking?
I think UConn has that toughness that when it comes, and if let's say they're going down to the last 2 minutes with a 4-point lead, I think they have the ability to hold it. And that's a big factor, is being able to hold that. I don't think Michigan has the firepower to control them in the last 2 minutes. So I would give a slight edge to UConn, probably 76-72.
All right. Well, I'm gonna pick it real quick before we throw it to Doug. And I hate UConn, and it seems like everybody I hate is winning this tournament. So I'm just going to go ahead and shake it up, and I'm also going to pick UConn 69-65. What are you thinking, Doug?
Let's stand some of these fucking Big Ten teams out, right?
Yep.
What is the Big Ten? Is actually the Big 20, isn't it? Or is it Big 18?
It's a big bunch. I know that. It's 18 in it.
It's a big bunch of assholes, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me UConn. Give me UConn 78-75.
The home office has spoken, guys. 78-75. I think that's a good result. All righty.
It will be. Yes.
It will be.
Just to get one of those Big Ten teams out.
Yeah, it'll be special. So let's go back up to the top of the next bracket. Let's go to the top of the West bracket. And we have Arizona and Arkansas. And I want to preface this a little bit. And I look at Arkansas, they've they played Hawaii, they played High Point. They've had a pretty easy path to this point, guys. And they might have the best player in the country in Acuff. But I don't know if I don't think I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if they can go on. Calipari's won a championship, but the team that played that year was like an NBA All-Star team. What are you thinking of this one, Ed? Arizona and Arkansas.
You know, Arkansas is a little scary because they're hot. But with the exception of a couple games, it's really been looking like Arizona's year. So I got Arizona winning this one by about 10. 86-76.
Damn it, Jim. What do you think on this one, Bruce?
I agree with Ed. I think Arizona's a stronger team, and I think they're better balanced. So I give the edge. I don't think it'd be that wide of a game. I think maybe a 5 points, spread on this. 5-4 points, no more than that. It's. I think this could be a snoozer. I really do. But I give it.
Yeah. What's that? I'm sorry, Bruce.
I would say 75-71.
75-71.
Arizona.
Go. He says, go Arizona. All right. Well, Doug, what are you thinking about this Titanic struggle?
I'd love to see Arkansas win just to keep another conference game team in here, but give me Arizona. Very close to what Ed said. I think Ed said 76-66.
86-76.
Oh, sorry. Well, shit. Let me do 76-66 then.
Bam. And me, I think Arizona's going to crush Arkansas utterly. And I think the score's going to be like 90-66. And Calipari, I mean, he's put together a decent team. They're one of the few SEC teams standing, but I think if it comes down to a coaching decision or not, that he can't win the game because he's not flexible. He doesn't change what he's doing. He don't have an alternate plan. He doesn't have set plays that make sense in game situations. He just goes off ever how talented his guys are. And unfortunately, in this case, except for Acuff, Arizona is more talented at every position. So I have to pick Arizona in a rout, 90-66. So let's move to the bottom of the West bracket, guys.
Wow.
Yeah. I just believe it's going to come down to coaching and talent in that game. And since Calipari is not the kind of coach that, as a game coach, is going to make adjustments that matter, that he never has before, he's just relied on superior talent to win. And in this case, Arizona has superior talent. So therefore, he doesn't really have anything else to go to. But Acuff is a transcendent player, guys. I will say this. If Arkansas wins, it's because Acuff has the kind of game that's going to be on the highlights of the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can envision that happening, but he'd have to have an awful hot hand.
Yeah, but he's been known to get one, and he's a lottery pick. Him and Boozer are probably the best players still in the tournament. So if we go to the bottom of the West bracket, we have Texas and Purdue, guys. And I find it very interesting. Texas went a lot further than I thought they would. And they had a decent win against Gonzaga.
You're getting ready to pick against him, aren't you, Bob?
Yeah, fuck Texas. I'm just going to pick out of the way. Texas, Purdue 80-68. What are you thinking, Ed?
Purdue's vulnerable. I'm going with Texas in this one, 75-70.
God damn it, Ed.
I mean, they could be vulnerable because early on in the season when they were expected to do well, Purdue kind of had fell off. It took them a while to claw back into this picture, didn't it, Ed?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they're hot. But the fuck up, Texas going to crush. I'm like, oh, they're going to crush them. He says, ain't. You do you, man. What do you think of Bruce?
I got Purdue. They're gonna fucking annihilate Texas. They're gonna run them out of the. They play Powerball. They front you up. They push you around. They control the paint. I don't, and they move so well under the basket. I just, yeah, I got. Give me 100. No, I'm being facetious. I say 90 to 80 easily. Purdue
And
will.
you know what's interesting about this to me, Doug, is there have been teams in the NCAA tournament in the past that were so much clearly better than other teams. It was just easy to pick. Teams that, could score 100 points or whatever like that. And, I mean, I don't really see any teams in the tournament like that. What are you picking on this game?
Give me Purdue by 2. 22, that is.
Double
give me Purdue to 82 to 60.
We like it. 82 to 60. Yeah, I hope the correct.
Didn't somebody get their ass beat real bad the other day? Was it VCU and Illinois?
Yes, Illinois crushed one utterly.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it looks bad. It's like 75 to 55, but wasn't it like
A whole lot worse than that.
didn't like VCU only score 12 points in the first half?
I think that's true, but Houston also routed Texas A&M by 31.
Texas A&M, and then there was.
But I'm trying to figure out like which one was it that was so lopsided at the half.
I think it was VCU and Illinois. And VCU kind of had a comeback in the second half to an extent.
Well, Illinois probably took the second half off.
Yeah, they
They were winning by so much that there was no way VCU was coming back.
There you go. And, VCU, things are different there now that Chaka Smart is no longer there, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And but he's coach of Texas now, so we'll see what happens. But it's never an upset when you're at a massive school with unlimited resources, and like Texas, to beat a smaller school, it's just But Purdue is not. They've run into a program that's had esteemed basketball for a long time, going back to Gene Katie. Even though they couldn't really break until lately, they didn't break through the Elite Eight very many times, but they always got there. And now they've won a championship. The monkey's off their back. They're probably looking for one now. All right, so let's look at the bottom of the Midwest bracket. And should we leave Ed's favorite team for last in this bracket, or should we just go for it, guys?
It's up to you.
It's up to me. That means we're going to talk Michigan and Alabama. What are you thinking on this, man?
I'm going to pick Michigan. My confidence level on a scale of 1 to 10 is about a 6, 86-80.
Nice. Damn, that's big stuff, guys. What are you thinking on this one, Bruce?
I'm sorry, Ed. Good buddy. Love you, dude. But I'm going to go with Bama. I've said all along that I felt that they could win it, and I'm going to stick to I got this feeling in my bones, and I think this is the time if Michigan's going to win it, the big guys got to show up. If they don't show up, Alabama could run them out. They could. They have this overall team speed, and they're kind of a matchup difference with Michigan. I always look at teams that match up, and you think, oh well, that team is. I'll use again Florida and Iowa were two teams where everyone were thinking Florida's just going to run them right out of the stadium, and there's no hope. Well, this is one where I think a lot of teams think that Michigan's going to have a real easy time. And it's coming down to guard play and tempo of the game in this one. That's how I see it.
So I do have a question for Bruce because I didn't get the sense throughout the year that this Alabama team was as good as in the past couple of years. Now they can still beat Michigan. I'm not discounting that at all.
No, they're not the team that was here last year.
But but I was just surprised to hear you say you think they can win the whole thing.
You know, it's how teams gel together at times. And they're coming into the end of the season where I think Alabama is gelling really well. And if they can control the tempo of the game, and they got the guards to do it, they have better guard play than Michigan.
Well,
that's how I read it.
So what's your score on it, Bruce?
You know, it's there again. This is another one where there are two balanced teams, a 1 against a 4, and it's going to be close. It's going to be nip and tuck. It's going to come a 3-point spread. Here I'm squeezing it down a little bit more, and it's going to be 81-84, something like that.
Nice. I think that'd be an exciting game. I gotta go to this one for I rub my little pie hole. What are you thinking on this game?
Alabama was 45% on three-pointers versus Texas Tech. If they hit that level, I think Alabama will win this game. But I don't think they're going to. I think Alabama's going to play an excellent game, and they will have a chance to win. But give me Michigan 82-78.
Nice. Well, guys, I think Alabama can win. And I studied on this one pretty good. And one of the interesting things that I noticed trends-wise is I think Alabama, going back over the last 4 games, scored 90 points in 3 of those 4 games. And Michigan, over their last 4 games, scored over 100 points in 3 of those 4 games. And so styles makes fights, and Michigan likes to run. And I think it's going to come down to bodies in the end because Michigan is going to run with Alabama. And I'm with you, Dave. If they hit 45, if they hit 50%, they can win the game. They just about have to. So I'm going to say Michigan 101, Alabama 95 in the greatest ball game of the last 20 years.
Yeah, could come down to that.
I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be pure the reason you watch the NCAA tournament kind of game. Because the styles of these teams is going to lend themselves to a lot of scoring, and also they're going to play defense, but I think it's going to be real chippy, and there's just going to be lots of points scored and lots of shit talking. I think it might be the best game of the weekend. So I'd tune in on that. If you had to ask me which game do I want to watch in the Sweet 16 weekend, I'd say Michigan, Alabama's probably going to be, and then Houston, Illinois. To me, those are the games that are really going to be barn burners, but not to the extent of Michigan, Alabama. Michigan, Alabama are high flying, high scoring affairs. And Doug, I think Alabama's hot. If Michigan trips up, Alabama can beat them because, like I said, they're hitting 45% for 3. They take more threes than anybody. They do it in transition. They're constantly. There's usually there's up to 20 seconds left in the shot clock, and Alabama has already shot the ball. And the more opportunities that Michigan gives them to shoot the ball, the better. But Michigan's capable of running down there and dunking it on the next possession. So the ball goes. Alabama makes the 3. Ball goes through the net. Michigan takes it to the left of the court and dunks it, right? Ball goes out about again. Alabama takes a 3 early in the shot clock. They make it. Ball goes to the neck. Michigan dunks it, right? Next time down the court, the next 3 times Alabama misses it all 3 times. So we're talking 40% shoot range, and 2 of those 3 times, Michigan goes down the court and dunks it. So what do you have? That's a tie ball game, right? So that's the kind of game we're looking at, and that's basically what's going to happen. And I'm excited to see it. So let's look at the bottom of the Midwest bracket, guys. And we're going to talk about our beloved Tennessee Volunteers against the Iowa State Cyclones. And, guys, my hatred for Tennessee is well known. And I can't say that I'm unbiased in this one because I just don't, and I've said many times on the show, I just don't believe that Coach Barnes is a championship level coach. I think he's a great recruiter. They got a nice style of defensive basketball, and he's kept a Tennessee team that's rarely been relevant. And so hats off to him for taking them as far as they can go. But this is as far as they're going to go, and Iowa State's going to bend them over with no grease, 81-66. What do you think, Ed?
I will believe it when I see it when it comes to Iowa State going in deep in the tournament. I got Tennessee 82, Iowa State 72.
Ow. Bruce.
Oh, is that it?
I got Tennessee by 10.
By 10. Okay.
By 10.
These Sweet 16 games are unpredictable. You get blowouts and you get 1-point games.
Oh, I'd agree. I think they're playing a whole lot closer to each other talent-wise. And Bruce was talking to guards earlier, and Tennessee does have guards. And they've got one good one that's basically been there 3 years, Gillespie. And so that's where Tennessee does have a chance. Is they've got pretty damn good guard play. What do you think, Bruce?
From what I saw of Iowa against Kentucky the other day, they're a good team. Are they a great team? Or are they a national championship team? I don't think so. But I think they're good enough to beat Tennessee. But it's going to be close. I see it. They're again in the 80-point range, 87, 85, Iowa State.
Yeah, that'd be a nice game. That'd be enjoyable. I'd watch that. What are you thinking, Doug? What do you think on this Titanic stroke?
Man, there would be a joke here if we had the Cyclones versus maybe a Florida or a Texas team. We could talk about mobile homes and tornadoes. But I guess what would we talk about here? We talk about this would be meth labs and tornadoes, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
with Tennessee.
That's a good one, Doug.
Shit. Give me Iowa State, 88 to 84, something like that. I think it's gonna be a great game, and I look forward to watching Tennessee head home.
Oh, yeah, we always look forward to Tennessee headed home, especially with their heads down, tails stuck between their legs. So we've got, as far as I know, the next show, even though we could mention it on our Thursday more political show, but we've got the Elite Eight is going to happen before the Final Four, obviously. So should we make our individual Final Four picks before we roll out of here?
We can, or we can just talk about what we think is going to be there because it may not come out that way, but
So we can
I love speculation myself.
Yeah, we can make some speculative Final Four picks based on this, but we will be able to talk about the championship. Yeah. So if you lose it, you're the champion, I guess. Instead of the champion, you're the champion. So, all right. So, Ed, who's your Final Four picks out of the 8 teams left?
Well, hold on. Did we pick on Illinois, Houston?
Iowa.
Oh, Illinois, Houston. Oh, did we?
Iowa and Houston still to go.
Illinois, Houston. My bad, guys.
Yeah,
Uh,
Iowa, Nebraska. We didn't pick on that one either yet, did we?
I thought we did pick on that one, but
We
let's
did.
do it. Iowa, Nebraska. I got Nebraska 66-61.
Yeah, I got Nebraska too. I think I was in the middle of a dream season. And they're fixing to wake up.
There you go. What are you thinking on it, Bruce?
Iowa. I just really like how they played the other night against Florida. A tough team. And I think they can match up with anyone on the board right now. Anyone. So I would say Iowa, and I would say Iowa 90 to 80.
90.
So Ed's final Ed's championship game is Iowa and Alabama, right?
No.
Oh,
No, not Ed. Sorry, Bruce.
No, you'd be surprised too. It would be. I'm not going to say till the end.
Well, we get to talk about it here soon.
Well, we don't have to pick the championship right now because we have a show between now and the championship.
Yeah, we do. So is everybody picked on that one? We got Illinois and Houston is the only thing left.
We have Ed. What do you pick on Nebraska and Iowa?
77-70 Nebraska.
Bam.
All right, so that's three
I think
people.
they're playing well, and I think Iowa shot their wad against Purdue.
Ed's
they
our lone
beat
Hawkeye.
they beat wait a minute. Wait. Iowa beat Florida. Yeah, they're done.
Yeah, I mean they overachieved, and that's typical. I mean that the next game in, they're not going to play nearly as well, and that's a football thing and a basketball thing, to be honest.
There you go. So, all right then. Are you guys? Let's move on to Illinois and Houston. And that is a huge game. I can't believe I could possibly have missed that, but I did.
Let me go ahead and throw this out there. Illinois is Sean's pick to win the national championship.
Nice. And he's from Illinois. Went to Eastern Illinois.
He's from Chicago area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I go first?
Absolutely.
All right. So let me explain why Sean's Illinois is not going to win the national championship, because Houston's fixing to beat them. Give me Houston 81-75. It's going to be a close game, but Houston is going to get this done. Now, this violates what these teams average. Yes, Houston typically scores about 77 points a game, and Illinois is in the 84 to 87 points a game range. But I still think Houston's going to get it done. Just call it a hunch. Not picking against Illinois because Sean picked them to win the national championship. If they beat Houston, then who knows? But I don't know. Every time that I think every game that I've watched this year where I thought Houston was going to win, that they were going to lose, they won. So this is a good Houston team, and it's not going to shock me if they get into the Final Four. I don't have them picked for the Final Four, but it definitely won't blow me away.
If a team plays defense to that level, they've got a shot to win it all, in my opinion. So what are you thinking, Ed? Who's going to win between Illinois and Houston?
It's going to be Houston, I've got them winning it by 12, 76-64.
Wow. That sounds pretty realistic. And Bruce, what do you think about this matchup?
I got Houston. I just think their basketball history, not that that's anything that is going to be a determination.
No, but it means something. It's a trend.
They've been there. They've been to the high peak. So,
and I don't think Illinois has won a national championship. Not in the tournament age. They may have some retroactively claimed titles from.
But I do like how Illinois plays, though. I mean, I'm not immune to them winning. You know, I really don't. I'm not. So yeah. But
I think
I
they-
would money if I was going to bet, it'd be Houston.
So I don't think that Illinois has been to the Final Four since the Lon Kruger era, which was in like 1984. But I could be wrong about that. Am I wrong about that, Ian?
Say that again.
That Illinois hasn't been to the Final Four since the Lon Kruger era, which would have been like an 80 something.
No. They played North Carolina in the national championship not that long ago, maybe 10 years, I think, something like that.
Yeah, okay. That's when they had D Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. I don't know why, but so that's 2 Final Fours and 1 championship game. But guys, I think that defense wins championships. I believe Coach Sampson is a great coach, and he can coach some defenses. They're going to clamp down on Illinois, 80-68. That's my score. So, if I'm going to pick a Final Four, I'm going to go ahead and get mine out of the way. I've got Houston, Alabama, UConn, St. John's. Well, yeah, UConn and Arizona, I should say. What do you think of Bruce? What's your Final Four?
I got St. John's coming out of that bracket between UConn. I have Purdue coming out against Arizona. I have Iowa coming out of the South. And I'll go with, man, the Bama and Iowa game. That's a tight one. I got Bama. I'm gonna stick with Bama. I'm gonna ride with the tide. I'm not gonna deter. So that's what I have. St. John, Purdue, Iowa, Bama.
What about you, Ed? Who you got?
Michigan, Duke, Arizona, Houston.
Hell yeah. That's pretty strong picks, if you ask me. And Doug, who you got for your tentative Final Four?
Well, let me just start out by saying my original Final Four. There's still 3 teams left.
Nice.
I had Michigan and Arizona and Florida, which got knocked out, in St. John's. So I'm replacing Florida here. I'm going to leave everything else intact. I've got St. John's still going, Michigan, Arizona. And let me see who I'm replacing Florida with. Sorry, Florida's down here on this little right. Yeah. Man, Jesus, this one's going to be a tough one. Yeah, give me Houston to replace Florida.
Ow.
Let me bring in Sean. Sean,
Hey, what's going on?
what's going on?
Apologize for my tardiness. I had a work conflict, gents.
Was that all the Final Four that we were just talking about? Are we done or?
Oh, we can keep going. Let's see what Sean's got on it. I just have to compliment.
Well, I mean, we can go ahead and give Sean. He can go down the line and pick these games that we picked from the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
let's do it. See what his picks are. They're very important. Sean's an integral part of the Dr. Ball show, and we also appreciate your commitment to our great nation. So don't worry about being late. So
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I mean, it's the power rankings of the Sweet 16 matchups that I threw out the other day. Just because there's one at number 1 and one at number 8, doesn't mean that I don't think all 8 of the games are going to be, really good. But the one that I'm looking forward to most is Michigan State against UConn. Tom Izzo and Danny Hurley with the battle of whoever will throw out their voice first, shouting at the officials. And plus, you got two really good teams there in Michigan State and UConn. That one, and then Duke against St. John's. I think St. John's is going to win that game.
Yep, we pretty much. I think the whole panel picked it that way, actually, except for Ed.
With the injuries to Duke and the way they've played, sort of lackluster in those two games against, Siena and TCU, and the way that St. John's just seems to be getting better and better each week. It just feels like that seems like an upset waiting to happen. Then we get the Corn Bowl. We get Nebraska against Iowa in a game. I hope Houston, Texas has a lot of Busch Light for all the Nebraska and Iowa fans that are going to be going down there for that weekend, that game. And then the other one I'm excited for is Alabama against Michigan. The pace that Alabama plays with, they can Michigan hang with that, and especially if Alabama really gets hot from three, they might be able to pull the upset and knock Michigan out.
Yes, I can see that. Now let's go back to St. John's and Duke. Now, one of the interesting phenomenons I've seen in my life, especially when Coach K was the coach, was how tightly Duke games were called, especially in regards to fouls against Duke players, right? And my concern for the St. John's game is whether or not that the refs are going to allow St. John's to rough up Duke's cards the way they have allowed them to rough up everybody else's. What do you think on that, Sean?
Yeah, that'll be the key, I think, to that game is how St. John's is officiated. They're a little. I'm used to them in the Big East. They're a little bit more physical than most teams you'll see, and they'll push the envelope as far as they can. So if it's a tight whistle, St. John's can get in trouble. But if it's a loose whistle, that's going to play into their hands big time because they do a lot of things that if you wanted to make an argument to the letter of the law, they're not fouls, but they're really annoying to play against because they're like constantly touching you and on you. Yeah.
They're on you like shit. Flies on shit.
Yes. They play like Dennis Rodman. He's always kind of just. You couldn't get him. He was a gnat. He was just annoying. He was a nuisance. That's how St. John's plays defense. You just can't get him off you.
Yep. And the thing about it is the St. John's, because they try to score off their defense, they can go long into their bench as long as the next guy up can play defense. So, and that's pretty much that's an interesting situation for Duke because Duke's
you
rotation.
Won't play for Rick Pitino if you don't play tough on defense. Period.
Mm-hmm. So they can afford to foul because they can go 10 deep because they don't really rely on a scorer to win the game.
Now, that's not to say they don't have a superstar in Zuby Ejiofor. Ejiofor he's their catalyst. He gets them going. But to your point, the other night against oh my gosh, I'm having a mind fart here. They went like 4 minutes without a basket, and it didn't matter because they didn't let the other team score.
And that wears on you.
Yeah, it's like, are they gonna score? No, well, they didn't score. Okay, well, they go back down, play defense. They didn't let them score. Okay, so it's like they can play. St. John can play that style where if they're not scoring, great, because they'll just tighten up on defense and not let whoever they're playing score. So I mean, that game was sitting there at like 16-12 with like 7 minutes to go in the first half. I go, man, it might be a race to see who gets to 30. It's a win.
Yeah. And so that's the kind of game that St. John's going to have to play. And if the calls don't go their way, or if the calls favor Duke, then they've got a problem. But if they're allowed to play their style of defense, I believe they've got enough bodies to just keep sending guys in and frustrating Duke's shorter rotation. So that's the key for me. No, is it just me, or is there also seems to be? I mean, when Texas seems like a Cinderella compared to other teams, it seems like there's very few Cinderellas. Am I wrong about that?
I know they're an 11 seed, but if you're, I don't consider Texas a Cinderella because you come from the richest athletic department in the country. You play in the second biggest conference in the country. You're not a Cinderella. You probably underperformed the first half of the season, and now it's starting to click. And they barely beat Gonzaga. And again, I hate to talk about injuries, but if Gonzaga has Braden Huff for that game, Texas probably doesn't win that game. But injuries are part of the game, and such is life. But
like I said earlier, Sean, Gonzaga has played a 30-team rotation this whole season, and that doesn't lend to continuity. And it didn't go in Gonzaga's favor.
Yeah, I mean, not having Huff and then only going basically 7 deep. Gonzaga didn't have the depth. Texas, they've got depth. They have tons of superstars, but all the guys are pretty good. They're well coached. They got experience, and they just kind of keep scrapping. And I mean, they did the same thing to BYU, and BYU had DeBonso. I think he dropped 35 and 10 against them. Didn't matter. Texas, won the game. So I wouldn't consider Texas ever a Cinderella. I mean, they've got more than enough resources to throw at any sport. It's just that they happen to be an 11 seed. But I mean, the seedings kind of were wrong all over. I mean, St. John's is a 5 seed. They won their regular season and conference tournament and got a 5. They really probably should have been a 3 seed. Texas probably should have been a 9 seed, not an 11 seed.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, do I think Texas can beat Purdue? Absolutely. I think that's going to be a great game. People seem to think Purdue, you just pencil them into the Elite 8. Texas could beat Purdue for sure. Do I think they will? No, but I think it's going to be a close game back and forth for sure.
So is Iowa the closest thing we have to a Cinderella going into the Elite 8?
I personally think take the seedings out of it for a second. I think it's Nebraska.
Yeah, they would be.
Nebraska prior to this tournament had never won an NCAA tournament basketball game ever.
Yeah.
So they, to me, in this tournament, are the Indiana. Because prior to Indiana in football last year making a run, they were the worst power team in college football history, right?
Yeah.
And they made their magical run to it. So Nebraska, for a power program, had historically been the worst tournament team from a power, conference. And now maybe to me, it's Nebraska. This is the first time they've ever been to the Sweet 16 ever.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
That's nice. But otherwise, you have to look for Cinderellas because everybody that's left is a major conference team. I mean,
yeah. I mean, if you're talking, that's what I sent you guys that thing the other day of, I guess Cinderella. To me, it's you got Iowa, Nebraska for sure. The other ones are you talk about Houston and Purdue. I sent you guys the thing. That they've got the most tournament wins without ever having, in Illinois, without ever having won an actual championship. I think Purdue had the most with 51 or 52 tournament victories, games won, but never ever winning the championship. You know, so they get close, but they never really get to the golden apple. You know, those are kind of the stories I'm looking at. Arizona, are they gonna flop like they always do when they're a 1 seed at some point? Or are they gonna make it to the championship game? Because how many times have we seen Arizona as a 1 seed and they don't quite get to the Final Four, or they don't get to they lose somewhere and they better be careful with Arkansas, because that Acuff young man is dynamite.
Yeah, he's a lottery pick for sure.
Yeah, I mean he can get to the 10 whenever he wants. I mean he is pulling that Razorback team as far he's kind of giving me memories of Kemba Walker with UConn 12 years ago, 13 years ago. You know, as Acuff goes, so go the Razorbacks. It's not to say they don't have a very good team. They do. But he's the straw that stirs the drink for them, and John Calipari.
He reminds me a little bit of damn, I just had the human highlight reel, played for Atlanta, played for the Hawks, Dominique Wilkins.
He's got a little of that to his game for sure. I think Dominique was a little bigger though than
Yeah, he was bigger and more lankier. Had that awkward look too, but he was devastating.
But I mean, yeah, Acuff he's a thrill a minute. I love watching his game. He's fun. I like all the matches. I really do. You know, and the one that's, I think, to me the most no one's really talking about it very much is that Tennessee-Iowa State matchup. And I think that's going to be a heck of a game, especially if Tennessee keeps shooting the ball the way they're shooting, because that was the rub going in against Tennessee into this tournament as well. You know, when you got to hit some jump shots, they haven't really done that. And man, the other night they were looking real good hitting their shots against Virginia.
Leslie's a good guard too.
Yeah, there again, it comes down to guard play.
So, I mean, if there's no Cinderella, okay, that's fine. What we do have instead of it is, you look at these matchups, they're all really good matchups. We should be excited for just, these are going to be really good games Thursday through Sunday. You know, whoever gets to the Final Four, they've certainly earned it. Yeah,
they earned it. Yeah.
I look at the games to the left, sir. I look at the games to the left, and they're on the, like you said, the matchups are on the level of the college football playoff. It's not even better.
I mean, the flair to it is similar. Like, I guess it would be like this past college football playoff. Once we got rid of Tulane and James Madison, you go. Everybody else
were there.
Yeah, they rightfully belong. And
I don't know about that, guys.
Well, who else would you add to that other than?
Well, I mean, I guess Alabama did win. They did win the first round game against Oklahoma, but Jesus Christ, they sure made up for that against Indiana.
Well, it did help that we found out afterwards that Ty Simpson had a litany of injuries, you know, and I think that played if you're starting quarterbacks hurt, that's once you get into the playoff against good teams, that's a recipe for disaster.
Real quick, in honor of the Auburn Tigers football program, I do have to mention that Illinois, they do claim a pre-tournament national championship for the 1914 through 15 season.
For college basketball?
Yes. Pre-tournament Helms national champions.
Oh, the Helms, yeah. Sorry, I don't. Yeah, that's in that Auburn kind of category. That or some of the teams that when the NIT used to be bigger than the NCAA tournament. It's
now that they come down close. They were runner up 2005, weren't they?
Yeah, they just ran into a really, really good North Carolina team in the championship game. That 05 team with Bruce Weber had Darren Williams and Luther Head and D Brown. And that was a really good team. They just, North Carolina had just a slightly better team. It was a really good championship game, but And Illinois has come close before in '89, the Flying Illini with I think Kenny Battle and Kendall Gill and a couple other guys lost to. Unfortunately, they lost. They had beaten them twice in the regular season, Michigan, but lost to them in the Final Four. I think Michigan ended up beating Seton Hall in the actual championship game.
And Illinois had a hell of a streak in the Big Ten from '98 to 2005. They won 5 regular season championships.
That was when they had Bill Self before Bill Self left to go to Kansas. He had really put together some great recruiting. I mean, really, you could say, even though it was Bruce Weber that coached that 05 team, Bill Self built that roster before he left. Yeah, Illinois, they're one like Purdue. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I'm not counting that Helms 1940. They're only probably 30 or 35 teams across the country playing college basketball at that point. It's like those. It's like those all those Harvard and Yale and Princeton college football national title. Well, there are only 5 of you playing back then.
Hey, let me real quickly, Ed.
Yeah.
If you're tired, you can go. We've been picked on all the games. We're just going to let Sean go.
I'm fine. I'm good.
But if you do get tired, you don't have to explain anything to anybody. You can literally say, "Fuck y'all. I'll talk to y'all next week."
I'm not going to say fuck y'all.
You just did. But anyway.
No, I think we should be excited for these games. It's going to be a great second weekend of the tournament.
Oh, yeah. It is. It's just some strong matchups. We got some emotional Cinderella. But we wanted them to win, and it was amazing that they were still there. But then they get crushed in the Elite Eight. Something in the Final Four, where these in general are the kind of teams that can compete for a Final Four. And I think that is exciting. There was a lot of talk that with NIL, the main programs are stopping players from the smaller programs, but in a way, it's increased the level of basketball, especially over the era of one and done. I like, even though the smaller programs are not as competitive this year, I do like the idea of more experienced teams that can actually play basketball.
Yeah, I mean, a prime example of that, Bob, is look at Iowa. I think their coach and a couple of their players came over from Drake, and sorry, Drake, but Drake, I think, is in the Missouri Valley. They don't quite have the resources that Iowa has in the Big Ten, and all these guys that they played a year or two at maybe a smaller program and proved to coaches and in the bigger school, like, hey, you maybe misrecruited me out of high school. I should really be at a better program. I'm worthy of it. They make that move in the transfer portal, and so you're getting better games. The cream is really rising to the top.
Absolutely. So on one hand, we got to celebrate all this, but then you got the money issues. And I've heard of at least 10 schools that, in one form or another, the athletic department has to borrow money from the general fund, and that somehow now in the NIL era, instead of these schools being rich, looks like they're losing money.
How long do you see programs dropping out like flies? Within the next 3 years, you're going to see, I would venture to say, between 10 and 15, maybe up to 20 teams are going to be financially in dire straits. They can't
get to borrow $20 million, Bruce, from the college's general fund.
Yeah, you got a team like Wazoo who's probably close to $40 million in debt right now. Will they ever get the income in to erase that debt? No, they won't, and it'll roll back to the taxpayer, which is bullshit.
I never thought that there'd be a day that a $50 million revenue share from an SEC contract would have you $20 million in debt. How did we get here to that, Sean?
Well, I think you're going to have to these athletic programs are going to have to make hard decisions on what they want to keep and not keep. You know, it's unfortunate, but you know, that's where we're at right now.
And what's a shame is that the small programs, you know, the baseball, the baseball, the volleyball, the tennis, the golf, all those, programs are going to be pushed by the wayside. They're going to shove all their money to football and screw all the rest of them. And that's not what I'm for.
I think it would make basketball more competitive across the board and more regional. I think that it wouldn't ruin basketball. Some thanks for schools to put all their eggs in the football basket, because I think Kentucky has to do that based on what revenues are in football. But on the other hand, I don't think it'll ruin basketball. I think in basketball's case, it'll spread the talent out everywhere. You won't be able to afford to hold on to them guys. They have to go somewhere else. You won't be able to afford to buy 5 former 5 stars or 3 stars that's built up to being 4 or 5 stars as transfers. So it's going to make, I think basketball's going to become more regional and may get some exciting times out of it. And that just feels better to me, guys. I like it when conferences like the West Coast Conference, even the Big East, which is not even a football conference, right? Those schools there, if they're not prospering, they're badly managed, wouldn't you say? Let's just say your TV contract for the Big East in basketball is $25 billion, and you've only got to take 12 guys around, right? Some of the games by bus if it's in the Northeast, if you desire to. So let's see what the Big East basketball TV contract is.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, you're lucky. Some of those, you know, you can take a bus from basically, or the train for that matter, Georgetown, Villanova, St. John's, UConn, Providence. You can take a train or a bus. That's half the conference right there.
Yeah, but when you go coast to coast, that changed the whole financial dynamics.
Well, Creighton's the furthest away for any team in the Big East to travel to. So yeah, that one you're gonna have to fly to Omaha. The furthest ones away are Omaha, which is, you know, a 3-hour flight from New York. Chicago, which is 2 hours, and Milwaukee. Those are the furthest away. But coast to coast, yeah. If you're a coast to coast conference, those travel, you know, dollars are, you know, I mean,
big time.
You could probably talk about it, Bruce. I mean, Washington having to go to Rutgers or Penn State. I mean, those are
Rutgers is knee deep in debt right now. They're borrowing money hands over fist, and they don't have it. They're lucky they'll go through the next season, probably. And they lost 17 or 18 million dollars this year. That's a hell of a lot of money to be in the hole and have to borrow on.
They won't give me numbers.
Yeah, you might see a Rutgers decide, you know, maybe they want to leave the Big Ten to join a conference where they're not having those constraints financially from traveling all over the place.
You'll see those Division I teams drop down to FCS teams because it's now becoming more lucrative, especially in the Mountain West. They're going to smaller FCS programs because the money is just not in their budget, and they still want to sustain somewhat of a program. Wyoming is another one you could look at and say, yeah, you may be a D1, but you might be better off going into the FCS.
It might save, guys, I think it might save college sports and college football in particular if they went back to the smaller 8 and 10 team conferences and made them more regional. You know, because look,
those days are done.
Well, you got 100 guys.
You'll never be competitive to win a national championship, period.
Yeah, but if you've got 100 guys, you know, that you have to move every week from Los Angeles to New Jersey or every other week or whatever it is. I mean, that's just a lot, right? I mean, they if they can't realign in some way that makes sense, if somehow you can afford it now, and NIL now, does it NIL pay for itself, or does it come out of these TV contract dollars? Does anybody know about that?
Well, from my understanding, it doesn't come out of the TV contracts. What it does come out of is independent donors like Boeing and other subsidiaries going in and giving them money. That's where it comes from, And there again, that money only reaches the top 1%. Your quarterbacks, your possession players, and the rest of the teams holding what in their hand. So
I'm just looking at all the ways we're losing money, and these contracts were huge, and everybody was all for them. So in basketball, it's real simple. The Big East has the model. I'm just trying to get numbers. They won't even tell you what the real numbers are on the contract, but they will say that the Big East was the most nationally televised conference in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're able to keep the costs down, you've got scholarship players and walk-ons and coaches. You might have 20 guys, 20 trainers, cheerleaders, the whole 9 yards. You're looking at 25, 30 people to buy this team. Even if the radio guy shares your trip. So, that's how many you got to move around. You got to move them from New York to New Jersey, to so forth.
Yeah, I mean, and for whenever the Big East's current TV deal expires, I mean, there's potential chatter about going from the current 11 teams to maybe up to either 12 or 14, but they'd be inside of that footprint, so you're not adding distance and travel that would be unrealistic. And some of those schools that have been talked about, St. Louis, the Billikens, who got knocked out by Ed's Wolverines, would fit that bill. Dayton, where the first four is held, would fit that bill to join the Big East. Duquesne is in Pittsburgh, so that would, and Pittsburgh used to be, Pitt used to be part of the Big East before they moved on to the ACC. So it would be inside of the already established footprint, but would help, drive negotiations for the next TV deal. And those three institutions fit the mold of the schools that are already in the Big East.
See, they snapped the schools like it already for the Big 12 out of the former Conference USA or Metro Conference guys, and so that's proven effective for them. It'll probably prove effective for them as well. So if you've got a basketball program and you've got a small contract that you're sharing, and you don't have a whole lot of people giving NIL, then it'd be hard to conceive. I mean, if you're losing money on football and you're not making any money on basketball, which one would you give up if you was a team like Rutgers?
Well, I mean,
it's going to go to football.
It depends on the school. I mean, you look at the Big East. Most of the schools in the Big East don't play football. The only ones that play it at a big-time level are UConn. The rest of them are in FCS.
Yeah, that's why I brought them up, as opposed to so that they're having success, even though they're not part of football.
Yeah, they very well could survive.
Right.
It's easier to build and pay for a 25 person contingency rather than 100 plus coaches and everyone else to boot.
Yeah, I mean, the big and Rutgers both dropping out.
The big conference schools that have the football, SEC, Big Ten, they make the most money from football, but their biggest expenditure is football.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
It's hard. Some of these schools like Rutgers are going to have to make this tough decisions on what we're gonna keep and what we're gonna get rid of.
There you go.
If there's not change in
But I
the
think and it might have made an arms race, Sean, because the fact that Indiana was able to make a commitment to football and spend enough money and make them competitive. So now you're Kentucky. You go out and you get Will Stein. You give him I think it's the 11th ranked NIL class or transfer portal class or whatever it is. And so you're almost pressured since they done it to try it yourselves when you say.
Yeah, I mean, well, the reason if you're Kentucky right now you're angry is I think Kentucky's in the top 5 as far as expenditures for men's basketball, and the results have not quite met the return on investment.
Well, that's why I'm glad you came on the show, because I never really delved into that much in the show, even though I said that they suck donkey balls. But the nuts and bolts are exactly that. They spent their one on Quentin's, and he was hurt all season. Lowe was hurt most of the season. The players they had didn't have a pure point guard left or a reliable shooter, and they'd spent all that money, and it just might not have been a good investment with Quentin's coming off ACL surgery, no matter if he was supposedly the number 1 ranked player in the class. But yeah, they didn't spend their money well, and he didn't.
I mean, it's not just singling out Kentucky. I mean, North Carolina's in the same boat too. They spent a ton of money on their basketball, and they got knocked out by VCU. So again, it still comes down to right coach and right player fit to the team. You might get a McDonald's All-American, but if he doesn't fit the team aspect of what the coach is trying to get done. Same with Kansas. I mean, they had a collection of great players, but they were disjointed. They didn't really play as a team.
I agree with that. And Hubert Davis, what do you think his chances are of remaining with North Carolina?
I think he's probably gone.
Hubert Davis?
Yeah.
I saw it online. He's not coming back. He's gone.
Oh, already? They made the decision already, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to survive. I mean, that's 3 years in a row, quick exits out of the tournament, and the last game of the regular season really, I think, sealed his fate. They got destroyed by Duke. Like that can't happen.
They're 7 miles down the road.
And just being the top 20 team doesn't cut it at Chapel Hill.
No, it doesn't. You got to be Final Four every year.
No, you don't got to be Final Four every year, but you got to be consistently in the top 10.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. At least the Sweet 16 appearance just about every year.
Right.
And I don't know I'd have to look the last time North Carolina's been in the Sweet 16. It's been a minute.
No, Pope, Kentucky's pretty much my opinion.
I mean, I'm hearing the Heels may make a run at Nate Oates.
North Carolina?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, they're going to have to really shell out the dollars because Alabama can match North Carolina money-wise. So
yeah, they can.
They can. North Carolina's going to have to come way over the top with something, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Who else that I heard they're looking at? Hoiberg out at Nebraska. There's been some rumors about him, but it doesn't seem like he's going to want to leave Nebraska. He's pretty happy out there. But again, if North Carolina throws you a stupid blank check, you're going to have to think about it.
Yep.
They want somebody, I would call Hoiberg super young, but he's younger than some of the other established coaches. He can give you 10 or 15 years there. And
well, I mean, North Carolina hired Roy Williams when they did. He wasn't what you'd call a spring chicken when they hired him, and that worked out for him.
Yeah, he was alumni with a great track record, though. So
yeah. I mean, how much? I mean, the question for you, Bob, is how much more time does Pope have there before it really gets hot in Lexington?
1 year. It is hot.
I would say it's hot right now.
It's hot right now. Okay, so 1 more year, and
we're going to buyout because this thing is worth the buyout. So we're going to run him 1 more year, probably, whether we like it or not. Let's see what happens. It was an exciting style anyway, and I'm recruiting class looks good again. See what he does with it, but I think next year's his last year. If they don't have spectacular results, because just like North Carolina, maybe even more so, we're hungry for spectacular results. We haven't in a while, and we think bullshit. There's no reason why you can't take Kentucky to the Elite Eight at least every other year, a Final Four every 3 or 4 years. You should. I mean, we've had periods where we did that every year. And, so it isn't satisfactory to me. I don't want it to be like the time when it went between Kyle Macy all the way to Tony Delk before he had a championship. Fuck that. Right? He's got 1 year.
The only thing I can think that has changed the equation from what basketball was 10, 15 years ago to what it is now is definitely the transfer portal. There again, as in football, it's leveling the playing field. Kids are they're not that their loyalty is there or not there, but they have ability to move around much more now, and they're going to make their decision on money and availability to play as much as anything now, and they're going to leave. They're going to go, and coaches are going to have to.
Yep. And you can chime on this too, Sean or Eddie. Wouldn't it now that you can buy whatever players basically that you can afford, wouldn't actual coaching be even more important than recruiting now?
Oh yeah, I think the coach is not only that, but the school, the brand name, the conference you play in. But you got to have the coach. If you don't have a coach, you're SOL.
I was saying like a recruiter, like Phil.
I mean, Ed could speak to that perfectly. Like, Michigan has all the resources in the world. They should always be good. They had a poor coach in Howard. They can move on from him and get Dusty May, who's a really good coach. And now look where Michigan's at. They're back as one of the premier programs. You got to have the coach.
So you got to actually be able to coach. This is what I'm saying, right? Which means get a team ready no matter what. So let's just say in the transfer portal that you get 7 or 8 guys, and you have 3 or 4 guys stay, and you've got to make all that mesh, and you've got to do it by the beginning of the conference play, and you've got to do it year in and year out. Now that the scene has changed from who can recruit the best players for their flagship program to one where you can buy players that fit a program. And if you coach, you can make mesh. I think it's changed a lot of things.
Oh, big time.
And, I don't know how long. Just putting pressure on so many schools, spend money, makes money. And, I haven't seen the exodus coaches the way that we got again. Like, for example, Saban left Alabama. That he didn't want to deal with the landscape. And of course, he had any more proofs. Yeah. I haven't really seen that about college basketball. I think it's always been one of the shadiest possible things you can imagine. I hate saying that, but and I remember college basketball and the fact that they had an illusion of purity to it, right, was very interesting to me, and I'd love to celebrate that idyllic seeming world, but now it's just out in the open in a way even more so than college football, where because I have no doubts that players didn't go to class, that players got paid, right? That the bag got passed, every kind of underhandedness that they could get away with, right? And the ones that were most successful were the ones that kept the appearance of the pride in it, without the cheating. now the playing field is level if you want to spend money.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to leave. My dog is just really having fits.
You let me know if you need a shotgun. I'll try to pack you one.
Well, you guys take care and have a good night.
Right.
Yeah.
Bruce.
Take care,
Take
Bruce.
care, Doug. Bye.
That makes
See you later.
I appreciate Sean that you were able to join us, but also are getting into some wee hours. Got to put in the VA tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Yeah,
It's almost
it's late. Well,
so thanks to everybody. Buy the merchandise, like, share, subscribe, join the groups, follow. You need to do the connection with Smacking Off the Podcast. And thank you again to our cast members, Sean, Ed, Bruce, and the home office, Doug, and fuck your team.
later, y'all.
Later, guys.